Delighted to be here to present a research entitled Agentic AI in Cybersecurity, Autonomy, Attack, Defense, and Global Governance. In today's discussion, we want to bring a general overview about the journey of the AI, Agentic AI, toward the challenges for community and global governance. My presentation is divided into some part. I'll start briefly by talking about the AI toward the autonomous agent. Next, we will focus on the agentic AI, especially in cybersecurity, to see opportunities and risks. And then we consider a case study in terms of energy and critical infrastructure. On top of that, it goes for security escalation and governance challenges. And finally, we will wrap up this short session regarding governance challenges toward the applying and integration AI and agentic AI in our environment. Let's get started with this question. Why this conversation at this agent and stage is important? I would love to highlight this conversation should be urgent because decisions in cybersecurity area are happening faster than before. Because due to the emerging new technology, as you know, applying AI, agentic AI, we utilize the capability during decision making, during provide the autonomy from the manual operations we are doing, especially in the domain of the cyber security to protect our critical infrastructure in terms of, for example, healthcare, transportation, power grid, and smart farming and precision agriculture. The thing should be highlighted here at this moment. We will face with the challenges generally toward the governance because during this automation we want to remove human from the loop and do all these tasks in the some sequential manner without human intervention and provide the autonomy and provide some automated sequential step. In this regard, we, as you know better than me, we take with some challenges. Who is responsible for decision? If any agent, any autonomous agent will do this action. During this today conversation, we want to consider diverse aspects when we want to tackle any emerging cybersecurity threats in the critical infrastructure, how governance should be addressed and be part of this workflow to provide accountability, transparency, and a lot of capability we are looking for. Let's jump to the journey of the AI. In this slide, we can see the evolution of the AI over time. As you can see, traditional AI system generally support human with considering some fixed rules and pattern. Gradually, our plan was to meet agentic AI, especially modern AI that provide more flexibility and more capability during making decision without having human in the loop and have this capability in the runtime we can utilize from the past learning in addition to active learning during providing any complex decision. So agentic
if I may interrupt, I have a note. Somebody said we can't see your slides. Is that a question with everybody else on the call? Are you able to see the slides? Bill says yes.
Yes, everyone should be able to. Maybe if they change the view, they'll be able to see the slides.
Okay, so we'll make the adjustment, make sure your slides are... Carry on. Sorry, Abbas, to interrupt.
No. Thank you for highlighting this important note. Yes. Yeah, as I was telling about the journey of traditional AI toward the agentic AI, we need to build an agent like a human, make a decision during the facing with the complex environment, complex situation to provide this level of autonomy to remove the human from any loop during decision-making process we want to know. So agentic AI was one of the emerging technology these days is applied in our digital world. And in the rest of the slide, we can see how we apply in the case study as uh, a smart city during the addressing the energy or power. If we want to briefly compare the traditional AI system and agentic AI to understand the differentiate between agentic AI in our conversation, I should highlight during the traditional AI, usually we are utilizing analyzed data to identify pattern, use some predefined or fixed rule to make a decision or provide some contextual information for human during apply. On the other hand, in the agentic AI, it's a different. Where the agent can utilize a specific plan, can remember from past evidence, can provide some incident or act by itself without having any intervention with the human. So this change can provide a lot of challenges in terms of responsibility and control, especially when we utilize agentic AI model or system during a cybersecurity task. You know, due to the emerging new technology, we are facing with the ever rising cyber threats these days. So we need to provide a secure solution when we want to apply these agentic AI in our environment. In today's session, we will consider some cyber threats. On top of that, how we can mitigate while considering some governance challenges. If we want to learn about the agentic AI simply, we can consider 5 key properties when we want to design and develop any agentic AI system. First of all, we should define its goal. Next, we can consider the planning and execution by that agent. And in the third phase, we can consider a specific memory to utilize during the interaction between agent. And as a fourth item, we can consider real world environment, in which environment it should be applied. And final key properties is related to the limitation oversight of the human. In this slide, simply we can see when we have an agentic AI system, it can provide a lot of interaction with the diverse or complex tasks we want to address. And in the center, the agentic AI utilize 3 main concepts as a memory, as a LLM or any large language model, plus tools to provide some capability, decision making, and a lot of capability we want to design, we want to meet during the apply in our system. So these agentic AI, it's provide a lot of capability. On top of that, the challenges at the beginning of this session we mentioned. In the following, we will see which standard or platform can provide mitigate the risk of the agentic AI. On top of that, we are addressing the cybersecurity tasks like threat detection, threat hunting, and so on. If we want to respond to this question, agentic AI is a future idea, I should respond definitely no. It's already today used in a lot of cybersecurity companies and AI-driven companies that utilize AI services. So we should highlight we can utilize the power of the AI to build any autonomous system during cybersecurity, like autonomous threat detection, autonomous threat hunting, provide autonomous incident response systems to provide a secure environment we have. But Agentic AI here play like a two-edged sword. We can use the power of the agentic AI to provide security in our environment. In comparison, we can utilize the power of agentic AI to provide some threats, to find system vulnerabilities, to penetrate that vulnerability, to provide a malicious behavior in any system in the runtime. This is a two-edged sword we should consider. And in this slide, we can mention the dual nature of agentic AI that can be used for defense and for providing the attack. So one defense line can be provide continuous monitoring in our system network, can provide autonomous response, can provide autonomous protection. On the other hand, any malicious user, any organization can provide attack capability while considering these capability. In the real world, we can mention to the red and blue teaming in cybersecurity to provide a defense and attack, while in this scenario, the both side is utilize the power of the AI and also agentic AI. We should consider this critical insight when we want to design and develop governance policy and governance method framework to address the challenges of the integration technology in our digital world. Let's turn to the critical infrastructure and see the power of the agentic AI. As you know better than me, the critical infrastructure would be include energy, water, healthcare, communication systems. And in these systems, agentic or AI can play an important role because it provides some automation and can provide some reduce the manual task during addressing any operation in this type of critical infrastructure. And also, it is a good target for attacker or any third party wants to provide some security problems because critical infrastructure are so important for us. And due to this importance issue, any uh, attack campaign, any third part, any malicious user are interested to provide some disruption in the operational procedure of these critical infrastructure. And if we want to consider a case study here, we can mention to the energy systems. Energy system, as you know, play a key example in the critical infrastructure. And these days we are observing the integration, the AI for control, for remote operations, for maintenance, especially in the energy systems. And also we are utilizing the capability of the agentic AI to provide control, monitoring, and also provide optimization layer when we want to design and implement energy system for our digital world. And we should highlight here one of the capability of the agentic AI here can be provide efficiency. But due to considering the AI or penetration in this domain, no one can deny the importance of the cybersecurity in this direction because agentic AI, as we mentioned, it's like a two-edged sword. Not only can provide some functionality toward the goal of the energy systems, but also any attacker, any third part can penetrate to the agentic system and provide some malicious behavior and provide some spy, provide some backdoor attack, provide some privacy or other regulation concept. If we continue our example in the energy systems, we can mention some common and real-world attacks the agentic AI can penetrate in this environment. Because simply any agent simply can learn the system pattern, input, output, and a lot of service and a lot of operations is up and running in the runtime in the energy systems. Via some vulnerability in our agentic AI, not only this solution, it doesn't provide the security, but also we are reveal a lot of data leakage. For example, we can mention to the prompt injection attack. Simply, the agentic AI can provide a lot of issue in this regard. And also, the agentic AI in our system always can be work as a hidden for several months. The attacker can simply penetrate and escalate a lot of information and utilize this data leakage to provide some understanding about the system behavior, system pattern to design and develop multi-stage attack. Not only just a simple attack can bypass any detection system. These attacks will be very hard to detect at the early stage. So this capability of the agentic AI can need proactive security practices. And in another slide, we started with the case study about the energy system. We see the power of the agentic AI to provide some operations. On top of that, we can see the vulnerabilities. We can see there are a lot of malicious behavior the agentic AI can provide it in this domain more and more. But here, if we want to bring a solid proactive defense in that energy systems, we can utilize several defense strategies because we need to utilize continuous monitoring and provide the isolation of the threat based on the type of component and services we are proposing. And we need to provide a autonomous incident response capability because it helps us at the earliest stage of the penetration based on the indicator of the compromise, we can stop it, attack it during the reconnaissance step. Without the attacker can penetrate in the middle of or heart of the control systems. That would be so important to consider these the mechanism to reduce the changes of the attack behavior. But the thing should be highlighted here when we consider both technical issue of adding agentic AI in our environment, we need to focus and highlight governance challenges because when we are removing human from the loop and who should be responsible for decision making because we are utilizing an agent and also agent has a lot of capability to learn from past events, to learn from the active learning during at the moment. So these governance challenges should be considered and policymaker in this regard should be focused more and more and provide more capabilities. In this slide, in the continue of the energy systems, we can see human, as you know, are slow compared to the machine. And full AI autonomy these days is increasing via in terms of speed, but reduce the transparency due to the nature of the AI system. We No, the AI system or any machine learning model work as a black box. Just we input some items as an input, we see the output. In the middle of this black box item, we couldn't exactly identify what will happen and how these systems provide decision-making process. So in the hybrid control, especially in the energy system, it's difficult to manage. These challenges should be provided by considering speed, safety, and accountability. On top of that, the governance can provide this capability for us to respond these challenges. So at this stage, we want to build this gap. We need a governance framework that address these problems due to emerging new technology and applied in our digital world to be considered. Let's turn to this slide to deep dive in the governance gap when technology outpaces our policy. I should highlight the existing law. Always, most of the existing law, it's better to say, assume human make a decision. On the other hand, the agentic AI make machine provide a decision instead of the human. So the responsibility is spread across the developer and operators in the field. If we consider our case study as an energy system, so this the AI system should be operate across these diverse sorry, across these diverse borders. It's provide a key challenges for technology, and also we need move faster than governance. This is clear for everyone. The technology these days, the growth is ever rising, and we need to provide this speed for governance to support our community and society. This is one of the challenges and gap these days we are facing more and more. In this slide, we can see four important questions. First, the question we need to respond: who is responsible when AI cause harms in our digital world, in our organization, in our company? In second question, we can bring here is related to when should human intervene? This is an important question based on the policy, based on the company services. We should determine a specific border for this response. And also another question we need to highlight here: how do we audit AI decision? This is an important, especially during design and implement any agentic AI, the auditing for decision making. And these days we are interested to provide this transparency and accountability to make a decision during building any AI systems. And another question, the last question we should highlight is what happens when a system cross national borders. It's not just for a specific country. When we are utilizing a global system, we need to global governance policy or framework to provide a solid borders for each step of AI governance, especially. In this slide, we can see escalation and global stability. As you can see, the AI system makes decision at machine speed. Already we mentioned that. And human can't always react at the time and at the speed that machine can provide for us. And it provides some misinterpret signal when we face with any issue. And we should consider the multiple AI system always can interact with each other. So we need more transparency, auditability feature to reduce the risk for apply in our, for example, solution for global stability. It is another idea and challenges the governance should be considered these days to provide a solid response. In this slide, we want to highlight the governance should build into AI system that can be include uh, consideration of the limitation or border for autonomy. If we having the hierarchical strategy or structure when we are building AI system, that level of the autonomy can be important because we want to provide auditable protocol. And another thing we should consider is a decision should be traceable and should be accountable because those elements are fundamental during definition of the governance. And also human in the loop can consider as a threshold, and it's so important because we can't remove human from the all the aspect just for pattern based or some sequential steps can be removed due to the speed and other features we want to build. The last thing I can bring here is related to system should feel safety and support the escalation based on our need at any step of the uh, auditability. And also these days, I was thinking how we can force an agent to forget the information. When we, sorry, when we build any AI system, that system has to interact with a lot of information. And how we can force the agent forget this information due to the privacy and other regulation. If you want to back to the cyber threats, because it's a global issue, it's not just for a specific country. And critical infrastructure, as you know, it's one of the most important aspects for any country. And all these critical infrastructure can be interconnected globally to each other. So there is a no signal a country can govern agentic AI alone. We need a global framework and global policy to address the transparency, accountability, and on top of the security and privacy issue. So we need shared rules, standards, and cooperations toward the global to have a secure environment when we are apply the emerging technology, specifically agentic AI in our domain. As in the previous slide we mentioned, agentic AI can play like a two-edged sword. We can utilize its power for automation. We can use AI agentic toward build secure solution. On top of that, we can utilize AI, agentic AI, and AI capability to find system vulnerabilities, system flaw, to penetrate and provide cybersecurity risk and problems. In this slide, finally, if we want to mention the policymakers these days can define limits on the autonomy, and the industry should certify agentic systems, and researchers can play an important role to develop safety benchmark to make sure, for example, how the agentic AI or how the AI system can be behave in the runtime to avoid to bring any unpredictable cyber threats or situation in the runtime. And also the institutions can provide some governance support and real development of the case study to tackle this issue. And Yeah, it was the part of the things we need can be done these days to escalate the integration, the agentic AI, especially in our critical infrastructure.